Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever it is you are joining us from, and whatever part of the day it is for you. Welcome back to Rush to Judgment with Jessica. I'm Jessica. I'm glad to see you. For anybody that is returning. Glad for any newcomers. Like I said, I am Jessica. I am just a regular little person here running with some commentary on some things that I find interesting and entertaining. Currently right now, this is the Chandler Halderson trial that I am working on and I am commenting on and talking about. We are on day 2. This is the middle part of day 2. And quick recap, Chandler Halderson is being charged with the murder and dismemberment and another thing or two for the murder of his parents in July of 2021 was when the event took place. This trial actually took place in January of 2021, so earlier this year. And like I said, we are on day 2 of like a 10-day trial. And so again, I am not an expert. I'm not specialized in any of this, so none of this is any type of, I do not claim to have any expertise in any of these areas. And again, I will probably have more questions than answers regarding a lot of this stuff. The only legal education I have had is through the YouTube and the lawyers of which that I have watched trials with. So take with that as you may, or take that as whatever, you know what I mean. So I just find these things interesting. I find it interesting to watch and kind of get the lay of the land and see how things go. I do have my degree in criminal justice, so I always have had an interest in the criminal justice system and how it works. So it's always been interesting to me to see how it works. So I like the idea that trials are streamed and that you can watch them. And again, these trials are not necessarily the types of things that you see on the TV. They don't go the same way as what they do on TV. It's not as clean cut and informative. There's not this big aha moment usually. So with that said, we are going to go ahead and get into let me make sure this is working first. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. Like I said, this is the second part of day 2 and more testimony. I don't like this judge. This judge is cool.
Everybody, please be seated.
I'm sorry, of course, as soon as I press record, my daughter has appeared in this room to bother me.
Folks, I trust you had a good lunch. Was there anyone on the panel who was exposed to or participated in any discussions about the case or investigated or unintentionally or purposely sought information? I see no hands. Thanks very much. We'll continue then with the state's case in chief. Attorney Brown.
State will call Kelly Bennett to the stand. Hi, Kelly. Come with me. I'm going to go with that gentleman.
Thank you.
Good morning. If you're able to comfortably, safely, and with good responsibility testify without a mask, we appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you. Go right ahead.
Hey, good afternoon. Could you please tell us your name and spell it out?
Kelly Bennett, KELLYBENNETT.
Kelly, whereabouts do you live?
I live at 111 Oak Springs Circle, kitty corner from the Haldersons.
Sure. Yeah, describe if you could, kind of in as much detail as you could, as where your house is in relation to the Halderson's house.
My house is across the street and one down, so it's kitty corner across the street, but my house is positioned on the lot unusually, and it is, the front of my house is facing the side instead of the street.
Sure. Do you have any security cameras at your house?
Yes, several.
Tell me about, just in general, do you have one system or multiple systems?
We have two systems. We have a Ring doorbell system, and we have our son works for the Department of Corrections, and he installs all the cameras for the prisons. And we have a system that was installed by him.
You have a pretty well-designed camera system then?
Very well.
Okay. Were you asked to provide the Dane County Sheriff's Department some camera footage from your house from the early part of July, between maybe July 1st, all the way through maybe the 8th or so at some point this summer?
Yes, on July 7th, I heard that they were missing, and I had my husband approach the police officers and volunteer the cameras.
Sure. And did you and your husband cooperate fully in turning over your camera footage to the Sheriff's Department?
Yes, we allowed them to actually log into our system, and they could retrieve any and all footage they needed.
And to your knowledge, time and date and things like that were all normal and normally operating on those camera systems?
Yes, on those days.
I'm going to show you what's been marked in this case as exhibit number 49. And feel around. Is that a USB drive in there? Feels like?
Yes.
Okay. And exhibit number 542. What does the photograph on exhibit number 542 show?
My driveway.
Sure. That is your driveway?
Yes.
Okay. I would move, and exhibit 49, in the past, you've been told that the Dane County Sheriff's Office was able to download your video footage and put it on USB drives, essentially, for trial, correct?
Correct.
Okay. I'll move exhibits number 49 and 542 into evidence.
Any objections?
No.
Those are received.
Ms. Bennett, fair to say you know nothing at all about this investigation other than what you just said, right?
Correct. I've never even looked at the footage on the cameras from the system designed by my son.
And did you know the Haldersons very well?
I met her once when I was walking my dog and just said hello.
So you just provided video footage.
Correct.
Thank you. No further questions.
Cross-examination.
No, thank you.
May this witness be excused.
So they just have to call these
Thank you very
witnesses
much
just
for
to
your
get in
time. Have a good rest of your
the
day.
evidence that they have.
It will now below Lockwood.
Is to get in that evidence.
Good afternoon. If you believe you can do so safely and responsibly, testifying without wearing a mask would be the preference if you could.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. Could you please state your name for the record and spell both your first and last name?
Joelle Lockwood, JoelleLockwood.
And Ms. Lockwood, what location do you work out of?
111 Oak Springs Circle, DeForest, Wisconsin.
And the person who just testified, Ms. Bennett, is that your sister?
Yes.
And you work out of her home, essentially?
Yes.
On July 8th of 2021, did you answer the doorbell and correspond with a young man about camera systems?
Yes.
And that was captured by some Ring doorbell footage?
Yes.
And I assume you didn't know this young man?
No.
Exhibit 50? Just to show you. So thumb drive or USB of the Ring doorbell footage. I would move Exhibit 50 into evidence at this time.
Any objection?
None.
It is received.
Do you remember about what time of day this was?
About 3 o'clock?
Do you wish to publish at this time?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
You should be able to see what will be shown on the
okay.
screen in front of you.
Goofy. Morning.
Hi, my name is Chandler Halderson. I live just down the road.
Oh, yeah,
You're the one who calls the police.
yeah.
I was told you had the fancy security system. I was wondering if you were able to capture the road or my house.
The police actually came and downloaded everything they have. But it's actually my sister's house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they were here, I think till like 9 o'clock last night and downloaded all the video she's got. So we're hoping that,
Yeah, did it capture anything on?
we don't know. We don't know. They just took a copy of everything, and so we're hoping,
Widening the lens.
yeah, and it's all,
Be able to get a
yeah, and it's all HD. And then I think there's one,
especially in the dark. It looks like it has a little bit of night vision.
yeah, and there's one on the corner of the garage too. I don't know if that one quite goes that direction, but
Maybe see this road and take it from over here.
yeah, so hopefully, I mean, we gave them everything that we had, so we're hoping we find something on there.
Yeah. Okay, good.
All right, thank you.
Coffee.
No further questions.
Cross-examination.
None, thank you.
May this witness be excused and released.
Yes.
Thank you so much for your time. Have a good rest of
Stop
your
asking the defense if they have any cross. They're not gonna do anything.
Stay called. Captain Schuster.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
If you believe you can do so safely and responsibly, testifying without your mask would be the preference.
Sure.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. Could you please state and spell out your name for us?
It's Catherine Schuster, Kathryn. Last name Schuster, Schuster.
And ma'am, if I may ask, where do you live?
4599 Oak Spring Circle in DeForest.
Sure. How long have you lived there?
So all of
A
these
little over
people
4
are just
years,
gonna be people
approximately.
that have cameras.
Just going to ask you some questions first about your neighborhood. Okay.
Oh, sure.
What kind of neighborhood is it? Is it a residential? Is it out in the country? Tell me about it.
It's a residential neighborhood on a little pond.
Do you live on the pond?
Yes.
What kind of things do people do on the pond?
Right now they're ice fishing or paddle boating or canoeing or probably about it.
Were there fish in the pond?
Oh, yeah, definitely fishing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you know a couple by the name of Bart and Krista Halderson?
Yes.
How did you know them?
They were my next door neighbors to the west of me.
Okay.
And moved in, I think approximately 6 months prior to my family moving in.
And when you say you knew them, how well did you know them?
Well, knew Bart better than Krista. Krista was a little more reserved. Bart, definitely talked a little bit more. I always saw him outside throwing the Frisbee for his dogs and fishing. And, my husband and Bart would text sometimes or talk. And so, I knew him as well, neighborly.
Sure. I think you alluded to some of it. Bart would be out fishing or be in the yard with the dogs. What type, is that the extent of it, or are there other things you'd see the Haldersons outside doing?
Sometimes they would have a bonfire.
Okay.
They did a lot of lawn work. They really made their yard very beautiful. They did a lot of different things to it. So they always were doing a lot of yard work.
Sure. And your neighborhood, do people take care of their lawns?
Yes. It's
Okay.
very, everybody is very particular about their lawns.
Does it at times feel like there's a little bit of a competition between people on who does it best?
Sure. Yeah, definitely. If you're behind, you better get your yard mowed or your leaves picked up.
Okay. Where do you rank in this
Rude.
lawn contest?
My husband's pretty, I don't rank too high
Okay.
personally, but my husband definitely is, for example, him and Bart kind of had a thing where like Bart would mow and then my husband would be like, oh, Bart mowed, I better mow, or vice versa. That would happen.
Sounds good.
Well,
Did
I
you know
did
the Halderson
F
boys
in
at
the
all,
neighborhood
their
for
children,
yard
Chandler
work.
and Mitchell?
No, I mean, I had seen them. I had not seen Mitch as
Hate
much
yard
as
work.
I had seen Chandler, but I'd only interacted
Sucks.
with, or I have only interacted with Chandler twice since they lived there.
In early July of last year, so after the 4th of July weekend, maybe going into the 7th, 8th, that time period, at some point, did Chandler come over to your house?
He did.
Sped up.
Now, do you have any security
And they're
cameras at your
still
house?
slow. Could you imagine?
And were those full functioning and operational the day that Chandler came over?
Yes, they were.
At times, do you turn the security cameras off?
Yes, I did.
Why do you turn the security cameras off?
Sometimes I turn the notification. Well, I didn't turn the camera off. I turned the notifications off so that if there was a large influx of packages coming, then my husband wouldn't get like all the notifications.
Sure.
He was at work.
I think that scheme's being pulled on me right now. So you had a camera system. Sometimes you turn the
Too many
notifications off
Amazon
and the footage
packages.
would maybe go away eventually. But Chandler came over one of these days.
Right.
And did you talk to him outside or did you invite him inside?
I invited him in.
Inside. So if your security camera picked up anything that day, it would have just been that brief ring of the doorbell, pleasantries, and then inviting him inside?
Yes,
Okay. And did you provide that footage to Dane County Sheriff's deputies? Did your family when asked in this case?
I did.
Okay. Showing you what's been marked in this case is exhibit number 52. Just to feel around, it feels like a USB drive, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And that'd be consistent with someone's video footage kind of being transferred over for court, right?
Sure, I would
All right.
imagine so.
I'll move 52 to evidence.
Any objection?
No objection.
It is received.
For the court record, I'll move 53, not to be published.
Any objection to 53?
No.
It is received.
And I'll move to publish 52.
You may publish. What's going to be seen, you'll be able to see on the screen in front of you, rather than needing to strain your neck.
Oh, sure.
I
Okay,
can say
thank
the
you.
monitor.
I get it. Thank you.
It's kind of difficult to track them down. So I don't know if anyone got like security cameras and stuff like that.
We do for you guys, okay?
Thank you.
Take care, thanks.
Take care.
Bye.
All right. So that showed essentially Mr. Halderson showing up and then him leaving when your camera again gets activated by his movement.
Correct.
And you have any reason to doubt that the time on the bottom there and the date of July 8th, around 8:30 to 8:36, that sound about right to you?
Yes, I thought he came over at 8:08
Wait,
and
wait.
left 18 minutes later.
Sure. About an 18 to 20 minute conversation.
Yes.
Nothing that was inside was recorded, of
No.
course. Okay. Let me ask you some questions. When Mr. Halderson first came in, what did he tell you?
I'm sorry, could you repeat?
Yeah, what did he tell you was going on when he first came in your home?
Well, he didn't, he just came in, he took his shoes off and I said to him, I'm not very tech savvy. It's going to take me a minute, to pull up the cameras and see what we have. And he came in, he sat down on the floor against one of our like oversized chairs. And then, my dog went up to him and I sat next to my dog and I proceeded to look at the footage. I don't recall him saying anything at that time.
Sure. Did he talk about anything in your house for that 18
Yes.
minutes? Tell me about that. What do
Well,
you
I
remember?
asked him some questions. So I believe while I was looking up some of the footage, you know, I had made a reference to Minecraft, which is because it was on the TV, which is probably irrelevant, but, and then, you know, that was just a brief conversation. And then I found the footage and I said, you know, unfortunately the camera was off from 6:02 to, I believe it was, or I'm sorry, 6:30 to 7:02, which was June 30th to July 2nd. And then again, it was on the 3rd, off again the 4th to the 7th. And then, so he's like, okay, well, most cameras don't go to the road. I didn't, just thought I'd check. And then I said to him, you know, so your parents, why didn't your parents take their car? And he said, well, a couple picked them up Friday morning, which would have been July 2nd. Prior to me getting up at 6:15, they were gone. And I said, oh, okay, and you don't know who they went with? And he said, no, I've called other friends. I don't know. They didn't go with anybody, and maybe it was one of my dad's clients. You want me to keep going?
Yeah.
Okay. And then he said, well, they took my parents' computer today, you know, but they didn't take my dad's computer. He has a high security job and they weren't able to take that. And I said, oh, I'm sure, you know, they'll get a subpoena to get that computer. And he's like, wow, they'll never get into that computer. It's just too high tech. And I said, well, I think they will, you know, basically the police will get into it. And then I just asked him about debit cards. I just said, you know, are they looking at their debit card records, you know, to see where they've been or whatnot? And he said, you know, no, they don't use debit cards when they go up north. They always take cash because they don't have any sliders. And I said, okay. And then
Sliders and meaning like a credit card.
he referred
machine.
to it as sliders, but yeah, I took that to mean debit card machines or credit card machines.
Sure. Did you ask him about his parents' phones and tracking them?
I did. Then next I said, well, you know, what about their phone records? Are they looking at their phone records? And he said, no, they can't get their phone records unless they have a dead body. And I said, well, you know, they'll definitely
That's not true.
subpoena though. I'm sure it'll take some time. I don't know if that's the right verbiage, subpoena, whatever, but it'll take some time, but they'll absolutely be able to get phone records. And, you know, and then he said, well, I think the person down the street has some high security cameras. And I said, oh, do you mean Kelly? And he said, who? And I just said, you know, the person that lives in the blue house down the street. He said, I think I'll have to visit her. And then I think that was the majority of the conversation. And besides that, I said, you know, he got up. I said, you're going to be so happy when they pull in your driveway. You're just going to be so happy and it'll be okay. And he said, no, I'm going to give him an earful. I'm angry. We're all really angry. And I said, well, no, you know what I mean? Like when your child goes missing and you're mad they ran away, but you're really just really happy you found them. And he said, no, the whole family's just very angry and we're all going to give him an earful. And I said, okay, well, you know, I asked if I could help with his dogs too. And during this conversation, sometime he said no. And I said, okay, well, you know, anything we can do, you know, either we're praying for you or we're thinking about you. One of those things I would say, I recall saying, but I don't know which one. And that was it.
Sure.
Then I watched him walk in the direction of the neighbor across the street.
You said when he came to your house, where did he sit?
Nice Wisconsin thing.
On the floor against, we have a big oversized chair. And I had pulled the ottoman out. It's an oversized ottoman. And I had pulled that out so he could sit on the chair. But he may have felt more comfortable on the floor. He sat on the floor with his back against the ottoman. Or not the ottoman, the chair.
Did he seem to you to have any physical trouble getting up and down?
Not that I noticed.
What was his demeanor like or his effect when he was telling you these things about maybe his parents being gone?
It's hard to describe. I would guess kind of a quiet nature. I would say like would appear to be down maybe. Yeah.
Police contacted you at some point, I would imagine.
They did.
And you've been cooperative all the way through with the police, helping them out with video and talking to them about your conversations?
Yes.
All right, thank you. No further questions.
Okay, thank you.
Cross-examination.
No, thank you.
May this witness be excused and released.
She may be.
Thank you so much for your
Thank you.
assistance and
Thank
have
you.
a good rest of your day.
You as well.
Thank you.
Okay, Deputy Wilkes, who the state's gonna call.
Good afternoon, Deputy. If you are able to safely and responsibly testify without your mask, I would appreciate it. Thank you. Counsel.
Good afternoon. Could you please state your name, both first and last for the record, and spell both first and last?
Michael Wilk. It's Michaelwilk.
That is Michael
How are you
number 3.
I'm employed with the Dane County Sheriff's Office as a deputy sheriff.
And are your job responsibilities?
I work a task force position. Within that position, I may be assigned to multiple divisions throughout the sheriff's office, including the bailiff's office, field patrol responsibilities, security in the jail, conveyances, and from time to time, I also am pulled for special assignments, which I was in this case.
And what was your assignment in this case?
My assignment in this case was to assist with video review, as there was a great deal of video that was brought in.
And specifically, were you asked to look at the video from a witness named Kelly Bennett's house, which was 111 Oak Springs Circle in DeForest, Wisconsin?
I was.
And how many hours of that video do you think you watched?
It was approximately 7 days worth of video, 24 hours in a day. So if you do the math, it was a great deal of video.
So you were the lucky person assigned to watch every minute of that video.
Yes, I was.
And what were you looking for when you watched it?
I was looking for all general activity that could be observed from the address on Oak Springs. I believe it's 4595, if I'm not mistaken.
So the 111 Oak Springs video shows at least a portion of the 4595 house and driveway.
Yes, that is correct.
During the course of this investigation, is it your understanding that this video was then edited just to show the moments in time where a vehicle or person arrived and departed from the location?
Yes, that is correct.
And you've had a chance to preview this video.
Yes, I have.
And were all the vehicles and persons that you saw arriving and departing from the Halderson home captured on this compilation video?
Yes, they were, with the exception of law enforcement vehicles on the 7th, because as there were numerous of them, those were not included in the video.
Sure, those didn't have any investigative leads since you
No,
knew
they did
who
not.
they were. And during the course of this investigation, were you able to identify what vehicles were assigned or associated to the Halderson home?
Yes, I was.
And I know you review lots of videos with lots of different vehicles. I assume you don't have license plates, makes and models memorized.
No, I do not.
Instead, you detail them in a report that you could review later.
Correct.
If I were to show you a report that you wrote in association with this case, would that help refresh your recollection as to the make and model of the vehicles associated with the Halderson home?
Yes, it would.
It's 1688 up to 40. And basically, there were 3 vehicles associated with the Halderson home.
Correct.
What was the make and license plate of the first vehicle?
The first vehicle was a Subaru Outback premium sport utility truck. License plate number was 34269 Union.
And who was that registered to?
That was registered to Bart Halderson.
What was the second vehicle associated with the Halderson home?
Second vehicle was a Volvo V70 station wagon, license plate number 34270 Union.
And who was that car registered to?
That vehicle was registered to Chandler Halderson.
And was there a third vehicle associated with the Halderson home?
Yes, there was.
And what was that vehicle?
That vehicle was a Subaru Forester 2.5X premium sports utility with a license plate number of 718 Victor Edward Robert.
And who was that vehicle registered to?
That vehicle was registered to Dulce Melander. I may not pronounce her name correctly.
And in the course of this investigation, did you learn that was the defendant's girlfriend's mom?
Yes, I did.
So that was the car the girlfriend presumably drove?
Correct.
State would now move to publish Exhibit 49 to the jury, the compilation video. Can we pause it just for a second? So Deputy, there's two boxes here.
Yes.
Is it fair to say that part of the video is enhanced to really look at the driveway that we want to look at?
Yes, the portion of the video in the upper right-hand corner is the true view of the camera as you would see it if you were to watch it without enlarging any portion of it. The bottom portion is an enlarged portion of the area that captures the front driveway and front entryway of 4595 Oak Springs Circle.
All right, thank you. So fair to say on July 1st at 7:30, a Volvo departs.
Yes, that is correct.
And now we're looking at July 1st at 5:13 p.m. A Volvo enters the driveway. And then at 8:16 p.m., a Volvo departs the driveway. Is that right?
Yes.
And then about 15 minutes later at 8:29, the Volvo arrives
Correct.
again. And then July 2nd at 7:02, the Halderson Subaru departs.
Yes.
And that same vehicle appears to arrive at 7:31 a.m.
Correct.
And then the labels do continue the rest of the video. Is that fair to say?
Yes, it is.
I don't really know what's happening. I mean, I know they're watching the video, but you could narrate what's going on. That would be helpful. That would be helpful. So girlfriend's car is leaving at 6:54 a.m. on 7/3. Something's happening outside. Somebody's doing lawn yard work. My window open. Subaru departing. Fantastic. 173. I forget what they said, like what day he was at the farm. I'm actually really bad at this. Like, I don't remember what day he said that they did it. So the 4th was that Sunday. They didn't go to work that Friday. So they're thinking that he did it that Thursday because his dad found out about a meeting or was supposed to have a meeting with the school. There was no school, there was no meeting. So they're thinking he killed dad first. Then mom came home that Thursday evening, killed mom. So that Thursday would have been the day. July 2021. So that would have been the 1st. First was a Thursday. Second was Friday. Man, somebody talk, bro. Third was Saturday. Fourth was Sunday. And so on and so forth. So yeah, they're thinking he killed dad that Thursday sometime, and then mom Thursday sometime. They didn't go to work that Friday. I don't really know the significance of this video right now because I'm not paying attention. So, my bad. I'm sure, back when we have more context and they can actually, maybe narrate as to what the hell is going on because they're not saying shit. And it's really irritating. They're just saying cars coming, cars going. Okay, cool. What the hell is the significance of these things? They're telling you the time and then you're supposed to timestamp it, which if I would have been paying attention, I guess that would have been cool. But I would like you to explain it to me, talk me through it. I would not like to do work. I sure would not. Just gonna fast forward because you're not gonna talk. Oh, you had the delivery. All I can hear is you breathing, bro. That's all I can hear. It's weird and I don't like it. So I'm sorry if anybody can hear me breathing throughout any of this. I do not like to hear people breathe. I mean, I like the fact that people breathe.
Yes, it is.
And I just wanted to point out one thing. On July 7th, according to that video, there was a white vehicle that pulled in. Then the Subaru pulled in. It looked like there was a little bit of interaction. And then the white vehicle pulled out.
Correct.
Were you made aware later that that was about an air conditioning quote?
Yes, something of that nature, or the general contractor that was doing work at the house.
No further questions.
Cross-examination?
No, thank you.
May this witness be excused and released?
No, thank you. I would not
Be
like to work
excused but not
today.
released.
Excused from today, but not yet released from your subpoena, so don't discuss your testimony with anyone else. Thank you much
Yes,
for your time.
because Jessica wasn't paying attention. To be quite honest with you. Who? For you. Wonder if he's Bart's brother.
Good afternoon. If you believe you can safely and responsibly testify without wearing a mask, it would be our preference if you could. Thank you so much, sir. Go right ahead.
Good afternoon. Could you please state your name for the record and spell both your first and last name?
My name is Brett Halderson, B-R-E-T-T.
Brett
Last name
Bart.
Halderson, H-A-L-D-E-R-S-O-N.
I'm going to ask you to grab the base of the microphone.
Move
You can
closer.
sit comfortably. That you can pull up closer. The fans are on right now, so it's becoming a little bit harder to hear folks. Thank you.
All right. Brett, your last name is Halderson. Were you related to Bart and Krista Halderson?
Yes, Bart is my brother.
Were you the older brother, the younger brother?
I'm an older brother by about 4 years.
So you knew Bart his entire life.
Yes,
And
Nope.
you
I
knew
didn't.
Krista, Chandler, and Mitchell as well?
yes.
What was your relationship like with Bart, Krista, and the kids?
General good relationship with them. We would have family get-togethers at holidays. We would talk over the phone occasionally, maybe send an occasional text message back and forth.
And how would you describe Bart and Krista as parents towards Mitchell and Chandler?
They were good parents, very nurturing. Krista was very involved with her children. I know it was mentioned like helicopter mom, but she was very attuned to everything that they were into. They were supportive in that anything they were involved in with school, with swimming. They were lifeguards. They promoted those things. They got them through Boy Scouts. Boy Scouts was very big in our family, and that followed through with them in raising their boys.
Okay. How did you learn about your brother and his wife being missing?
I believe the information went to my aunt and uncle, was referred over to my parents, and my parents gave me a call.
And Brett, just to put this in some context, what did you do as a career?
I worked as a police officer, a deputy chief for the Menasha Police Department.
What did you do upon hearing that Bart and Krista were missing?
Initially, my first impression is statistically, they probably were out of phone range. Everything would be fine, and we would probably locate them or have communication with them within the next couple hours. So at that time, I believe I made a phone call to them just to see if I could get a hold of them, try to get things straightened out as soon as I could.
What is the next thing you decided to do after that in regards to them being missing?
After that, I believe just to get more information, I made phone contact with Chandler just to see where they were expected to be, what was going on with their life, where they were going, and I guess to find out the different avenues where we'd be able to make contact with them.
And what did you learn from Chandler?
He had mentioned that they were going up north. I think the big piece of information that was valuable was that they had left with an unknown person or couple. I think the male was believed to be a Dan, and left in that person's vehicle. And with that information, I prompted him to try to find out who this Dan might be. I did even mention about finding if the neighbors across the street had a camera that may have got in that vehicle and a license plate that would be able to help us identify the person.
Did Chandler seem to take your advice, and was he able to answer your questions?
Yes. Yes. Matter of fact, he had gone across the street, and then shortly after speaking with Mr. Kevin Linsmeyer, I received a phone call from Kevin Linsmeyer saying that he was over there, and just wanted to make sure that I was aware of everything that was going on.
Okay. What did you do next as Bart and Krista continued to be missing?
I know I had the opportunity to speak with sheriff's deputies and then later the investigators, and I guess afforded them any information I could, as well as gathering pictures for, lost people, a poster, getting anything that we could to help find them.
Are you, during this time period, are you in pretty frequent contact with Chandler?
I believe multiple times a day, yes.
Okay. Are you learning any more pieces to the story throughout your contact with Chandler?
As we spoke, and I guess was prodding for more and more information, he did reveal that there was health problems. I was aware of my brother having psoriasis and some arthritis related to that, but he did bring up the information that Krista had some type of cancer that he was recently made aware of, as well as, I believe, the small stroke. And with that, it opened up the possibility that they may have gone somewhere to receive treatment for that, and maybe just hadn't been giving that information to the family because they wanted to keep that personal.
Okay. During the course of all these different discussions you're having with Chandler, at any point does he float the idea to you that perhaps they're out drinking somewhere?
I don't believe that ever came up, no.
Does he ever explain to you that they took a bunch of tools and a large amount of cash to the cabin?
I believe he mentioned the tools and the cash as far as going up to the cabin to do some repairs, yes.
Did he mention the possibility of a casino trip to you?
He did not mention anything about a casino, and I'm not familiar with my brother or Chris ever visiting casinos for entertainment.
With your brother being a CPA, did it seem likely to you whether or not he'd have a large amount of cash on hand in a safe in his home?
Knowing my brother, I've never known him to have a large amount of cash on his person or in his home. He would have kept that, I would believe, more secure.
And he believed in investments. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
I want to turn your attention now to some of the other things that you knew or may not have known about Chandler. What did you think Chandler was doing as far as schooling?
I believe he was a student at the Madison Area Technical College, or the Madison College. I believe it's changed how it's referred to.
And did you ever talk to him about like what sort of classes he was taking or anything like that?
I know Bart had mentioned in the past that he was involved in solar energy. At a holiday when we had gotten together, Chandler had mentioned that he was doing something with IT security, and he was in a class where their first assignment was to write a kind of a Trojan program that could be placed on a server somewhere, sent via email, that would, once placed, either by request or automatically, would send information from that server back to them. And that was done as a learning skill for an IT person.
Okay. What did you think Chandler was doing as far as work?
I believed he was doing an internship at American Family.
Did you know of any more details as to what he was doing there or anything?
In talking with Bart, I believe it was something dealing with IT services, nothing more beyond that.
What, if anything, did you know about Chandler's potential concussion?
I was not aware of any concussion. Up until when I was speaking with him after Bart and Chris were found missing, he did bring that up as a point where he wasn't able to drive long distances or shouldn't be going out far, in his vehicle driving. But before their disappearance, I was not aware of any concussion.
Have you ever went scuba diving with your nephew Chandler?
Yes.
How many times?
I'm a scuba instructor. I was able to talk my brother into having him and his two sons trained or certified in scuba diving. I think it was in September of 2019. They had come up to my house. I live in the outside of Appleton in the Hilbert area. They had done the online training. We did a pool session, and then we did an open water session. Actually, enough dives to get them certified as scuba divers.
So in two locations, in a lake or some body of water and in the pool.
Yes.
So 2 times.
Well, yeah, at the pool and open body of water. Yep, and all within the same weekend.
Okay. Did you and Chandler ever have discussions about police diving?
I believe at some holiday family get together after he was certified, he had broached the topic of what it takes to become a public safety diver. At that time, we discussed back and forth that it usually happens if you're part of a law enforcement agency or potentially on a fire department that has a dive team. And those were usually the 2 main ways of getting on a dive team. And then occasionally you'll find a civilian formed public safety dive team.
And how would you know that information?
I'm currently on the Calumet County dive team. I was on the Winnebago County dive team when I was working for the Menasha Police Department. I'm also a public safety diver instructor, so I work with numerous dive teams.
And to your knowledge, was Chandler ever on a rescue dive team associated with any law enforcement?
No, he was not.
What about the DNR? Was he on anything to your knowledge?
Not to my
that?
knowledge, no.
Mr. Halderson, when was the last time you talked to your brother, Bart?
It would have been the morning of July 1st.
Is there any reason you remember that date?
Because that's my birthday. Our family makes it a ritual of contacting each other on our birthdays. And that was a phone call that he had made to me that morning.
Is that the last time you spoke to your brother?
Yes.
No further questions.
Any cross-examination?
Good afternoon, Mr. Halderson. Do you need a glass of water or anything? We can take a break if you need something.
I should be good for now.
And I just have a couple questions for you. Thank you. To confirm, you said that you live just outside of Appleton?
I live in Hilbert,
Okay.
Wisconsin, yep.
Okay, but not in Dane County, Wisconsin.
No.
How often would you say you did come over to Dane County to visit Bart and Krista?
It was not very frequently that we were down there. They were very COVID conscious. So when COVID was around, they had not been up by us. They had not hosted any events. I visited them last September of 2020, where Bart and I had gone out scuba diving at Devil's Lake. And before that was probably sometime in earlier 2019.
How about just regular phone conversations with Bart or Krista? How often would you say you did that?
Very rarely would I have a phone conversation with Krista. With Bart, I believe it was every couple of months, every 3 months, maybe we'd have a conversation while I was out walking the dogs, and I would either just have a desire to speak with him, or I had a tax question, and it would be an opportunity to speak with him.
And as far as the information that you provided to Chandler about what he should do, is it fair to say that you were providing that information because of your prior experience in law enforcement, or something that you would have provided regardless?
I guess I provide anything to help find my brother and his wife.
But I guess, and I apologize, what I was getting at is telling Chandler to go seek out rig footage or to talk to neighbors. Is that something that perhaps was a little easier for you to suggest because of your experience in law enforcement?
Maybe I was more aware of it because of my experience in law enforcement, but just knowing camera systems and knowing that sometimes they're not kept more than 24 hours, 48 hours or longer. And I wasn't aware of what Dane County was doing at the time. I thought it just would be prudent to try to preserve any information that would potentially have a license plate of a vehicle that stopped there that day.
Sure, and that's exactly why you provided that information
Yes.
for Chandler. As far as Krista's family, are you aware she's close to her family?
Objection, relevance.
Overruled. You can answer if you know.
I know she has brothers and sisters throughout the United States. I know she was very, very close with her mother while her mother was alive.
I have no further questions. Thank you so much.
Any redirect?
No further questions.
May Mr. Halderson be released and excused?
He may.
Thank you, sir, for your time today. We could take up one more witness if it's of the same length of time.
Sure. Okay, so I'm going to call Dave Gilbert to the stand.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Sir, if you are willing and believe you can safely and responsibly testify without a mask, that would be our preference at this time. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Could you please state and spell your name, both first and last, for the record?
Jay Gilbertson, first name J-A-Y, second name Gilbertson.
He looks like
Where do you live, Mr.
somebody from
Gilbertson?
the movies.
Could you, I have a lot of trouble hearing, can you?
Oh, sure. Yep, yell at me if I'm not loud enough. Where did you reside in July
Yeah,
of 2021?
In DeForest, right next door to the Haldersons,
Okay.
to the west.
And did you know Bart and Krista Halderson?
Yes,
Just as neighbors or anything more?
pretty much just neighbors, you know, cordial, how you doing in the backyard type stuff. Never at their house, inside their house, never did anything with them, just that kind of cordial relationship.
Sure. Before the events of Bart and Krista going missing, did you know Chandler Halderson?
I may have seen them, but I'm not sure I knew the two brothers apart, you know, which one was Mitchell and which one was Chandler. I know I've waved to the boys at least one or two times.
Which one was which?
And on July 8th, do you happen to you end up having a conversation with Chandler Halderson? Is that true?
That is true.
What was the nature of that conversation?
He stopped over about 8:30, I think, in the morning. He said, "Hi, I'm Chandler." I'm paraphrasing. I said, "Hi." I said, "It's really weird about your parents." He goes, "Yeah." And I said, "It's, you know," I asked him something about the people that he went with, or the people that they went with, and were they missing too? He said not necessarily, or he didn't know. He talked about sending a friend or a relative to his parents' cottage to look for him. And he also asked if we had a security camera or surveillance equipment, and I said no, we didn't.
Okay, did you have any discussion at all about a neck brace?
I did ask him, I said, "Are you the one that fell down and had a neck brace, or was that your brother?" And he said, "No, it was me." And I said, "Oh, don't have to wear it, I guess," or something like that.
And was he wearing it on the 8th?
No.
And you said you had a discussion with him about the other couple. Did you mean the couple that supposedly had picked up Bart and Krista?
Right. I said, "Well, have you heard from them? Are they missing too?" And he said no, or not that he knows of, or something along those lines. And he said, I said, "Well, if they're missing, how are your parents going to get back from the cabin," or something along those lines. And he said he didn't think they were with them, or they were coming back, or it was kind of vague.
Do you remember telling detectives in connection with this investigation that Chandler had told you that the other couple might have just continued on with their trip?
Yes.
Did that make any sense to you?
No. I'd never seen Bart or Krista get in the car with anybody else.
And what was Chandler Halderson's demeanor like during this conversation with you?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear that.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was Mr. Halderson Chandler's demeanor like during this conversation with you?
It was a little, maybe not nervous, because I can't really tell. I'd only never spoke with him, but maybe a little nervous or detached, or not all the way tuned in. As soon as I said some other people might have surveillance cameras in the neighborhood, he said, well, he was going to go talk with them. And then he just left, turned around, and I said, I think we said something like, "Good luck."
Okay, thank you. No further questions.
Any cross-examination?
Just to be clear, Mr. Gilbertson, you've never spoken with Chandler Halderson before that day, correct?
I do not think so. Again, I don't know. I didn't really know the names of the two brothers. I might have said hi, but it was never a long conversation.
And when you say you never saw Krista or Bart get into a car with other people, it's fair to say you're not watching them all the time, correct?
No, absolutely not.
Thank you.
Any redirect?
No.
May this witness be excused and released from his subpoena?
Yes.
Sir, thank you for your time.
All
today.
done.
Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you.
That takes us to a 90-minute mark, folks.
So I was wrong. This is not a 3-part. It's just 2. I had videos saved on here twice. So we're going to finish up day 2 here real quick, because we're going to get right into the next video. The next video for day 2.
And responsibly, we would appreciate testimony without a mask
Okay,
on for purposes of a witness. Thank you so much. Go right ahead, Attorney Raymond.
Good
I
afternoon.
can
Could
see
you
you.
please state your first and last name for the record and spell both?
Yes,
Why
Lisa,
do you sound
Lisa,
like that?
last name is Murray, Murray.
And Ms. Murray, where did you live in July of 2021?
At 4593 Oak Springs Circle in DeForest.
And you have kind of an interesting
back.
history with the 4595 Oak Springs Circle address. What is that history?
The 4595 Oak Springs addresser, the Halderson home, used to be my mother's home. She purchased the home in 1982, lived there until she passed away in 2009. I lived there for 2 or 3 years, and then I owned the vacant lot next door and built a new house right next door.
Okay. So fair to say you're very familiar with the neighborhood and with that home in particular.
Correct.
Did you know Bart and Krista Halderson?
I did.
How did you know them?
Being neighbors, just cordial, in the yard, how are you? Just chit chat.
Were you familiar with Chandler Halderson?
I had met Chandler maybe once or twice.
So you knew who he was, but not any particular intimate knowledge.
Correct.
Did you, though, have a conversation with Chandler Halderson on July 8th of 2021?
Yes, the morning of July 8th, about roughly 8:30 in the morning, somebody rang our doorbell. I answered the door and then called Jay, and Chandler was at the door and had just said, "Hi, I'm Chandler from next door." And we just said, we're sorry about your mom and dad, and he said, "Yeah, weird." And I think the next thing he said is he was looking for help. So he was looking to see if we had seen anything,
My child finds his keys.
if we had surveillance cameras or ring
Kids are
doorbell.
precious.
I responded no, that we did not have a ring doorbell. And then I think, I think we kind of started asking maybe a little bit of questions.
What'd you ask?
Well, I know Jay asked, "Are you the one with the neck brace?" Because we had heard that
Oh, this was the other guy's wife.
one of the kids had fallen and had a neck brace. And Jay had just mentioned, "Is that you or your brother?" And he goes, "No, it's me." And Jay said, "Do you need to wear that?" And he responded, "No." And then he explained a bit about his parents, that somebody had picked him up. And he wasn't quite sure who had picked him up. And I guess it was unusual because we started asking questions and said, "Well, wouldn't that other couple be missing?"
What, if anything, did Chandler say to that?
He said, no, not necessarily. He said that other couple might have been going on to their next trip or continued on with their trip. And Jay had said, wouldn't they need to bring your parents back?
And did Chandler have any response to that?
He didn't have a response. He just was maybe an awkward silence and just said, "I don't understand. My dad always drives."
How did that conversation end?
I think it had just become, uncomfortable for him. And after that, it was more, he just kind of turned around. I'm sorry, I did miss one part early on when he was asking about if we had surveillance. We said no, but we do know that other people down the street have high security system, or we also know other people that have ring doorbells. I'm sorry, I missed that part. So
that's okay.
But how it ended was he just kind of turned around and walked off the front porch, went down to the end of the driveway and looked left, looked right, and just started walking down the street to the left.
Ms. Murray, I'm going to approach you and have you look at what has been marked as Exhibit 54. Could you please describe Exhibit 54 for the jury?
Exhibit 54 is a picture of a window that I took.
Of whose house?
This is the Halderson's home. The picture is the west side facing window into the garage. There are 2 side windows into the garage. This is the one that is the closest near the pond or the lake.
And what date did you take that picture?
I took it on July 7th at 5:20 p.m.
And does Exhibit 54 appear to be a true and accurate print of that picture that you took?
Yes.
I would move Exhibit 54 into evidence.
Any objection? No. It is received.
I'm cranky that he has to
And I would
go
ask
to
to
the
publish.
store for me. I gave him the money to go to the store for
Photo
me.
should show up on the computer monitor.
Okay.
Now, Ms.
Couldn't
Murray,
find his
why in the world
keys.
did you take a picture of your neighbor's window?
Now he's going.
It was
Found his keys for him.
It was very unusual that the window was open. It was
Couldn't find
July.
his
It
Card
was very hot.
that I
And
put
those
money
windows are
on.
never open.
So I
You know,
gave him mine.
That side of the house, we see 3.
But yet he
you know,
went
we
to the
see
store
out
this morning.
that side of the house from 3
Could've
different
just
sets
got
of
it this
windows.
morning.
From our kitchen, from our dining room, and from our
Either.
sunroom. We can see
Got.
that side. And there's only 4 windows on
He
that
had all
side of
the
the
stuff
house.
he wanted.
I've never seen a window
for-
open there.
Got.
And that
Because
struck
one
you as
thing
unique and you wanted to
I
document it
asked
in
him
some
to
way?
Very unique.
Get me.
Is that window, you've lived in this home, is that window difficult to get to?
It is. It's kind of an
Very
awkward
much.
window. With it being at the end of the house, you have to walk around the cars to get there. I've never been in the home since the Haldersons owned it. You have to kind of, we owned it, you had to fall over a workbench area to get to the window. So it really was an awkward window to open.
So she lived in
And the
that
Haldersons had lived in that
house.
home approximately 5 years?
Correct.
And to your knowledge, that's the only time you observed that window open was July 7th of 2021?
Correct.
No further questions.
Cross-examination?
Just to be clear, that window goes into the garage,
Correct.
and you didn't have any recent reason to know what was the layout inside the garage at that time, correct?
I'm sorry, I couldn't quite hear you.
Sure.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
You hadn't been in that garage recently, correct?
Correct.
That's all, thank you.
Any redirect?
No.
May this witness be excused and released from subpoenas?
Yes.
Thank you very much for your time. Have a good rest of your day. Thank you.
State calls Eric Novak to the stand.
So you put out the missing person on the 7th, I guess, with the police?
Good afternoon, sir. If you are comfortable and believe you can do so safely, we would appreciate your testifying without a mask if you're able. Sure. Thank you very much.
Judge, before we start, can we approach, please?
Sure.
Oh, shit. You just took scissors yesterday.
Good afternoon. Could you please state both your first and last name and spell both for the record?
Eric Novak, ERICNOVAK.
And can you just pull that microphone right in front of your mouth there?
The fans are running and some tones of voice don't get picked up as well. So we want you to be comfortable. That can be moved as close as can be.
Eric, do you know somebody by the name of Chandler Halderson?
Yes.
How do you know Chandler Halderson?
I met him in middle school and we've been friends since then. And we lived together 2 years ago.
Okay. I believe the court will probably direct everyone but the jury to remove their mask for a few seconds. But do you see Mr. Halderson in the courtroom today?
Before answering, I would ask anyone who's not in the jury box to lower their mask as I count to 3. 1, 2, 3. Go ahead and replace your masks.
Yes.
Could you identify him by where he's seated and the color of his shirt?
He's seated on that table, third from the right, and he's wearing a black suit.
Thank you. At some point in time, did you learn, or from a news story or wherever, that Mr. Halderson's parents were missing?
Yes,
And did you reach out to Mr. Halderson?
I did.
I'm going to show you what has been marked as Exhibit 56. Is Exhibit 56, is it fair to say that is screenshots of messages between you and Chandler?
Yes.
And you call him Chaz?
Yes.
I would move Exhibit 56 into evidence.
Any objection?
No objection.
It is received.
All right, and there should be a little screen in front of you, which hopefully I'll try to move it so you can read. And I just thought it might be easiest just to read through these. So is the blue part what you say?
Yes.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and read what you first wrote to Chandler?
Hey, Chaz, saw a post about your parents. Wanted to check up with you. If you need anything or I can do anything to help, happy to do it.
And then Chaz responds, and you sent that message on July 8th at 10:55. And it appears that Chandler responds, I appreciate it. I'm sorry, but I don't have a name to this number.
Sorry, I was muted.
So who may this be?
But I can't read
Eric.
it.
Sorry, I can't think of anything to do. I've searched the house with the cops for clues, but I couldn't find anything. Fingers crossed that they get the court order to open up their laptop. And then I believe
They went up to the cabin, right? They haven't tried tracking their phones?
we need a court order for that. Every time I call, it goes straight to voicemail. So I think the phones are off or out of range.
Okay, hopefully they move on that. When were they supposed to be back?
Monday, Tuesday.
Have you been able to reach them at all since they left?
They sent a text on Sunday, but I don't know when they made it because of the reception
I see. I'm not really sure what to do either,
or how to help.
or how to help.
All right. And that was basically your conversation via text with Chandler
Yes.
on July 8th. So I know you don't know a lot about this case, but during your friendship with Chandler, did you guys ever go swimming?
Yes.
Where'd you guys go swimming?
We went up to a beach in Sauk City.
Okay, I'm going to show you what has been marked as Exhibit
Oh, is that the tree?
55.
Is that where they found Dad?
Could you please describe Exhibit 55?
So on the right of the picture, that's kind of the area we would walk to, and then we'd swim over there and go to the sandbar in the middle.
Okay.
That wasn't
So
the
you
thing.
said
Didn't see that.
over to the right. I don't think everyone can see that. Okay. Over to the right here is where you would walk to.
Yes.
Okay. And then you would swim to the sandbar in the middle.
Yes.
And does this picture, Exhibit 55, appear to be a true and accurate depiction of that area as far as you know it?
As far as I know, yes.
All right. I'd move Exhibit 55 into evidence.
Any objection?
No objection.
It is received.
No further questions.
I don't like his hair.
No, thank you.
No, Your
May
Honor.
the witness be excused
I'm
and
not
released?
working
He
today.
may be excused but not released.
You are excused from any further testimony today, but you're still under subpoena to the state. Well, thank you very much. Have a good remainder of your day.
Thank you. You too.
At this time, I'll recall Detective Brian Shunk to the stand.
Shunk.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what the hell was that noise? It's awful. Whatever the hell it was. Look, James Corden is up for question.
If you would, again, as long as nothing's changed since your last time on the stand, testify without your mask. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Yes, it is.
No, I changed it.
Many times, you found yourself with other law enforcement officers over at Halderson, correct?
Correct.
And at times, people were conducting varying levels of searches of that home. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
When you conduct a search of a home, when I say varying levels of searches, meaning some are more invasive or destructive than others, right?
Definitely.
Early on in this case, people were looking around the home, but maybe weren't being wholly invasive or wholly destructive at that time, correct?
Yes.
And for instance, you walked around the home at one point.
Yes.
Were you at that time with other detectives ripping out drawers and throwing things on the floor?
No.
What kind of search were you doing initially in the home?
When I was first there, initially we were just doing a visual search, consensual, consented to by Chandler Halderson.
You're looking around.
Yes.
Later on in the investigation, a very thorough search was done by someone who specializes kind of in searching homes, right?
Yes.
Deputy Greg Leatherberry, who's going to testify in this case, correct?
Correct.
And prior to that search being conducted by Deputy Leatherberry and his staff and the people that work with him, was a video taken of the entire Halderson home to try to document the state it was in, at least to the best of your ability before that more intrusive, destructive search was completed?
Yes.
And those videos are long, aren't they?
Yes.
And in fact, this one's an hour and a half, isn't it?
It's a very thorough video.
And there's no narration to it.
Correct.
Doesn't make for engaging viewing always, right?
No.
The video has the ability to be sped up, correct?
Yes,
And you've seen it sped up in preparation for this case, correct?
I have.
And in fact, it can be sped up to 1/3 so that the video is less than an hour long.
Yes.
In speeding it up, in your view, having been in the Halderson home and having watched the original, does it change the quality of the video at all or what you're able to see?
It does not.
It just moves it along a little bit quicker?
Yes.
What is the purpose of these walkthrough videos that are done by law enforcement?
These walkthrough videos will document the home as is prior to any searches, just documenting how the home was found basically on law enforcement's first arrival.
And they'll go into every single room
Yes,
and they'll open up drawers and things like that?
they do.
I'm going to show you what's been marked in this case as exhibit number 543. Just feel around, and you've seen this before. In fact, a couple hours ago you saw it. This is a USB drive, correct?
It feels like it, yes.
Containing the video of the walkthrough in the home.
Yes.
Okay, I'll move exhibit 543 in evidence.
Any objection?
No objection.
It is received.
We'll get it queued up. I'll move to publish it. So as we're getting it queued up, and if you could switch to my left. Thank you. Just to preface this, again, this is going to be a walkthrough of the Halderson home. We'll pause it right there at 4595 Oak Spring Circle. And it's going to take, well, it says an hour and 20 minutes and 55 seconds. We're going to speed up
Yes.
I will hit play here in a second. Judge, if you wanted to dim the lights, and everyone probably wants to get comfortable, it's going to take a minute.
Why is all the furniture covered? It's curious. It's a nice house. I can't see. It's so bright in here. My room gets so dark at night, or it gets so dark in here at night, but then it's so bright during the day. See, I love how it's got the different levels. I like that. It's a super nice house. That table should be on the entryway, though. Just saying. Why is that table like that, though? It's weird. What is that? That looks like my table. Bet you that's Dad's workstation. You know, we gotta work from home. Oh, man. That could be sensitive information. You should not. Are those bills? I don't know. It's a remote of some kind. To what? Some nuts. Laptop. Work laptop, perhaps. I bet that's a remote to the fan. Because you know fancy rich people have fan remotes. That's how that works. I wonder what kind of dogs they have. It's a weird kitchen. Go back to what the stove is in. Oh boy. In here. So that's where the... I mean, that's neat. It's weird, but it's neat. Wonder what they were renovating. Yep, looks like my kitchen. Kitchens are so hard to keep clean, though. Like, clean and organized. I don't really understand. I just don't ever want to do it, though. Like, whoever just, like, is like, I want to go do the dishes. That's what I want to do today for fun. It's like laundry. I mean, but you feel better after it's done. But you don't ever really want to do it. I don't. I got a lot of cups. Why so many cups? Look at that. Papers. Where's your papers? Calendars. July. Can't read what it says. Pizza. Ugh. So mind you, they weren't probably in here until, what, the 7th or the 8th? And this boy has been living in this house like this since they left on the 2nd. He didn't clean up. He didn't do any chores. He didn't pick nothing up. Get the fridge out of here. We got a lot of stuff in the refrigerator. We have beverages in our refrigerator. We don't have food in there. I can't see, it's dark. What is that? Oh, your silverware drawer. Your utensils. I don't know. Your measuring cups. More. odds and ends. Your dishes are all over the place. There is no rhyme or reason for the way this kitchen is set up. None at all. I am sorry, Krista. Your kitchen organizing skills leaves a lot to be desired. I cannot figure it out. I do like the high cabinets, though. I cannot use them. I guess that's the purpose of them. You put shit up there that you don't use all the time. Dishwasher. Look, he can't even unload the dishwasher. Lazy bum. Or run it, for that matter. God. Why are you even living there? I think cleaning stuff. Trash bags. That looks pretty typical. Pretty typical. Okay, we're back to the sink. Trash can under the sink. I wish I had one of those. I wonder if my trash can would fit under my sink. I don't like it being out in the open. You don't really have a pantry. I have a lot of cabinets, so therefore all my stuff fits. Oh, that's gross. You should clean back there. Sorry again, Krista. I'm not going to judge your stove. I will not. I cannot. And you got a pantry. So why you got so much shit out on your counter? Good night. Okay, you definitely need some organization skills. You need somebody to come over there and spruce up the place. There's the basement living room, and it's down on that level. Oh, I like that. That's cool. He fell down those stairs and got a concussion. You little biatch. And they're carpeted. Are you kidding me? Get the fuck out of here, bro. Get the. I like that brick. I like it. I like it a lot. I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. Architecturally, this house is cool. Take me upstairs. He just built himself a little fort. You just made yourself real comfortable at home down there with your little fort, and it's dirty and you're disgusting. Friggin' man-child. What is that, a Lego set? You bought yourself a Lego set? Well, this is concerning. You're gonna put a Lego set together after you killed your mom and dad. You had time to do that. It's fantastic. It is fantastic. Gone in there. What's in here? Did we go upstairs? Have we been upstairs? Oh, there's the fan. There's his bed that he sleeps on. Made himself a little fort. You know, if you were if you couldn't get in and out of the beds and things, that would be real difficult to get in and out of, I would think. Yeah, it's clever. He's got like a little ottoman there in between the two. Fits perfectly, actually. Weird. Look at that. Are we in the fireplace now? Fantastic. Happy to see it. What's that? I hope I muted that and didn't yell in your ears. Ow. Okay. So it's the same fireplace? Are we still downstairs? Yes, we are. We're renovating this area too, I'm guessing. That's why we have no floors. That is the floor and it's just dirty because he doesn't know how to clean up after himself. Is that where we're going? What are those, nuts? I like nuts in this house. Nuts are cool. Nuts are good. Dirty. Freaking laundry basket, bro. Look at the dust. Again, I'm not going to judge you for the dust. I'm going to judge him because this is his area. So yes, I will judge him. There's a light flashing. That means there's something wrong. Ooh, what's in this room? What's that? That's your thermostat. Okay. I'm bored in here. Can we go to the next room? Or are we going to go outside? Ugh. That is the outside. I'm on the outside. I'm looking in. Oh, yeah. This is the whole rest of this day is the video. That's fine. You can speed it up. Definitely speed it up. Definitely speed it up. Just going through it a little bit faster. Going into the bathroom. It's a nice bathroom. You've got a whole new thermostat for the bathroom. That's cool. You can make it warm and toasty. That's a nice shower. That's a neat shower. And pick up the bottle off the floor. You got all that space, and you got. What is that? Oh, this is mom and dad's shower, I guess. So this is mom and dad's shower. So he moved down here. Well, I guess they were probably sharing the bathroom because the upstairs one was being renovated. Well, that's cool. Let's look in the trash can. Guess you have to, but damn. That's a Band-Aid for his toe. Neat thing. It's a cool mirror. Ooh, it's a hovering thing. I don't know how I feel about that. Oh, well. Again, our organization skills. Come on now. I like the bathroom. Nice bathroom. Nice bathroom. Oh, there's your computer area. Oh, God. Wires irritate me. Hate wires. No wire hangers, but no wires. Just hide the wires. It's not that hard. They organize them. They don't have to be sitting up there. It's a receipt. Paper shredder. Blender. Some sort of other air purifier. Bookshelves. I like those bookshelves. Wow. Oh, cool. They're like, okay. Oh, that's pretty. Nice little office area. Like the floor. What is this? Is the closet, coat rack areas, entrance from what, the garage maybe? Or the lower level. It's a neat shelf. Shoe rack shelf thing. Oh, seeds. Yeah, they're renovating. They ain't got no outlet covers. So just little by little. Probably so bad at renovating. So impatient. They get it done. Like, why is this not done? Okay, so this is from the garage. They also have an outside entrance in the other room. So this comes in the garage. Now, and this is what is killer because the organization skills in the garage is crazy. What's in the boxes? I don't know. I couldn't read it. It's going too fast. It's fine. I'm sure they'll tell me if it's anything important. Who keeps their trash cans in their garage? That's stanky. I would not like to do such things. Like watch their shelves. Even their basement garage area is huge. I wonder though if this is like Art's area and he's the organized one. Wouldn't that be some a turn of events? The man is the organized one and the woman is the cluttered mess. I mean, it's still quite. There's another trash can. Open it. What the hell's that? On that bike. Okay. Some boxes, some yard work and stuff, some lawn mowers, their corn. Well, this is just their garage. They have a basement area. That is dope. How do we get to it? Are we gonna go through the cars? Don't take me through the cars. I don't want to do that right now. I want to see the rest of the house tour. Propane tank. Shop vac. Gas tanks. Tools. Oh, those golf clubs. I don't know. Lots of flammable things in garages. Some wood, some shovels, some brooms. Too dark to see what's down there, so I don't know. What's that out to? There's a gate out there. A ladder. Everybody needs a good ladder. Oh, another view of the car. Under the car. License plate of the car. Other car. Under the car. Oh, we're back in the house. We teleported. We didn't see what's in that closet. What's in that closet? Oh no, that's the door. Oh my god. So now we go underground. This is the basement. So what the hell do you call that floor? Ground level, I guess. So there's all their alcohol stash. I would assume they use that for parties and gatherings. There's the freezer. Now look at all that. It's quite organized. They have so much stuff. Why do you have so much stuff? I thought I had a lot of stuff. They have so much stuff. You have dents in your freezer. I have a freezer just like that. It's just that small too. During COVID, you could not find a freezer. Like you couldn't. I found a small one. All I needed was a small one. But you couldn't find one. I finally found one. Toilet paper. See, again, this is like during COVID, so I feel like, they were stocked up on some things. Well, it was post-COVID, pre-COVID, during COVID, I don't know. It's 21, so it's like coming out of COVID. But I mean, you still, she clearly had a stock of things. Wonder what's in all those boxes. That's scrapbooking stuff. It's over in those boxes. I don't know. Wish I had those shelves. God, do you know what I could do with those shelves? How much organization I could do with those shelves? Oh, that's dirty. I guess it's the boiler. But what the hell's a boiler? I don't understand what that means. Is that a house with a boiler? But I don't know what that means. Maybe it's a Wisconsin thing. I don't know. We don't have a boiler. We have a furnace. I ain't never heard of that. Boilers are on ships. I don't know. What's in here? We got some chairs. We got some tables. We got another table that's not folded up. Or what is that? I don't know. Maybe some workout equipment over there. Is that a little mini bar? I want one of those. Little mini fridge. I don't know why. Got some Malibu, some margarita mix. I don't know. I don't know what the rest of it is. Some champagne, some wine. Okay, okay. Now, can we go upstairs? Oh, we're in the kitchen. We teleported to the kitchen. Here we go upstairs. And the washer and dryer is upstairs. That is fan-fucking-tastic. I wonder if it's always been upstairs or if that's what they like remodeled and put it upstairs because they're getting older and that's where they wanted it. Because I bet you it wasn't. Bet you it was downstairs because I don't know why, but everybody wants to put their washer and dryer downstairs. Why is your washer and dryer downstairs? Do you live downstairs? No, you're upstairs. Why would your washer and dryer be downstairs in your basement? See, it wasn't always up there. Guarantee it. They put it there because that's what makes sense. They made that the laundry room. I bet you that was, I wonder if he was mad because that was his room. And when he moved out, originally they started turning it into a laundry room. But yeah, back to my rant. Nobody does laundry in their basement. Or nobody lives in their basement except basement livers. Don't make no damn sense. I would love for my laundry room. I mean, I don't mind in my old house, my laundry room used to be way down in my basement, and my bedrooms were up on the third floor. Well, second floor, I guess. But you had to go up 2 flights of stairs to get to the bedroom. Here, it's just 1 flight of stairs. So it's not as bad, but it's also on the main floor. The laundry room is on the main floor here. So I don't have to go up and down to do laundry, which is nice. And our main living is on 1 floor, and all our bedrooms are upstairs. Oh, excuse me. Oh, there's the Target bag. They got her hydrogen peroxide. Is this their room? I bet his bitch ass was sleeping in their room. Oh no, I guess this was his room. But he wasn't sleeping in it. Because downstairs was closer to the bathroom. That's a bunch of bullshit. He wasn't sleeping down there in the basement. He was using the basement to like play games and shit, I bet you. How much you want to bet? And he was still sleeping up here in his room. He just liked the TV downstairs. What is happening? Hey, look, this looks like a fucking teenager's room. This man is 22 years old. Why do you live like this? God. You're disgusting. What is that? A gun. Clean your room, bro. This is mom and dad's room. I know this is not how they left it. Better not be. No, it couldn't be because their TV's on. Because their TV's gonna be on. So you come in here, ransack their room. Who does? The police do? Put their shit back. There's the puppy beds. I like the built-in closet thing, so. I like the built-in dressers in the closet. Well, and I got the meds. Quick Trip. Need to buy the Quick Trip. What is this room? What am I looking at? It's another room. Are we making this into something? What is this room? What's this one? See, if I was mom and dad, I'd be breaking down a wall and making my room bigger and just making a big old closet and all of that. I got no more kids in here. I'll keep one extra room for like grandkids or something. But after the kids are gone, that's over with. See, this room must not get used because there ain't nothing going on in it. Ah! Jesus Lord.
Detective, that was the walkthrough video, right?
Yes.
And the time that was conducted, the whole purpose was to see the entire house. No one knew what was really relevant yet or not relevant yet, right?
Correct.
And while we might talk about all of the rooms in the next couple of days, fair to say that the basement of the house, the room with the fireplace, Mr. Halderson's bedroom, those will be the three primary areas that we're going to continue talking about the next few days.
Correct.
At this point in the trial, and I suppose as one of the primary investigators, we've now heard from pretty much everyone who was involved in Mr. Halderson going door to door looking for security videos, correct?
Yes.
We might hear from a few more people that were in the area, but at this point, we've heard from those folks. One of those folks, Mr. Linsmeyer, mentioned to Chandler that he should give the cops a call. In fact, you were one of the people who left a card and ultimately got some calls from Chandler, right?
Yes.
And we're going to hear about that later on in the trial?
We will.
Okay. Now, that home, the Halderson home, obviously there was a large amount of police presence there in early July of this year. At points, Chandler was there, and then at some point, I think we're all in agreement that he was arrested. In fact, you were one of the people in the room, and he was arrested on the 8th in the afternoon or early evening, correct?
Correct.
From the 8th onward, so let's say July 8th, when Chandler was arrested, all the way through August 4th, that house remained in the custody of the Dane County Sheriff's Department, correct?
Yes.
And it was guarded at all times, was it not?
Definitely.
Can you tell us just briefly what it means to guard a house, a crime scene guard?
Yes. So our crime scene investigators will secure the home. They'll put up some type of a evidence tape on the doorway to make sure that no one, snuck into the home. There'll be a deputy assigned to that location, to that crime scene, and they'll remain there for their entire shift. They won't leave unless they're relieved. So no bathroom breaks, no going to a restaurant. They are there guarding that home.
Sure. So from the time of Mr. Halderson's arrest on July 8th all the way through August 4th, nearly a month, at 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, there was a Dane County Sheriff's deputy guarding that home.
Yes.
And they kept a log of everyone who came and went, correct?
Correct.
And that was turned over to my office in the defense. It's a normal part of the process in the court system.
Yes.
And people who entered that home, I think we may have saw people wearing booties when they passed by a mirror. People were outfitted with appropriate equipment to protect any biological evidence when they were coming and going.
Yes.
Including yourself at times.
Correct.
No further questions at this time.
Cross-examination?
No, thank you.
I would just ask one clarifying point. The deputy in charge or assigned to guard the home, did they guard from the outside or the inside?
No one's allowed inside the home except for the crime scene investigators at the time, so they are outside of the home.
Thank you. Anything in follow-up to my question?
No, thank you.
Detective, you may return back to the table. Would this be a good point for us to break for the day?
I think we've been...
That is the end of day 2. And then we're on to day 3. Okay, little timeline. Pretty sure Thursday, the 1st, is the day of death. That I'm pretty sure that's the day they think this all went down. Dad was supposed to meet with somebody from school. Chandler found out. And Dad got whacked. Oh, Jesus. Okay, let me not be so vulgar. It happened. And then Mom came home and he had to do that with Mom as well. And then Friday the 2nd, they no called, no showed to work. People got suspicious. That's when Chandler started saying, oh, they went with friends to the thing. And so he doesn't know where they are, but that's where they're supposed to be. They're going to the cabin. And that's it. So yeah, that was Friday. Saturday, I don't really think there was much going on Saturday. Well, I think Friday and Saturday and Sunday, I think in between there, he was chopping up bodies and hiding them. But as far as activity with, where are they and what are they doing type stuff, didn't really pick back up until maybe Monday when they no call, no showed again. And I think Saturday maybe too, they were like, okay, has anybody seen them? They're not answering. They're not calling back. And then again, Chandler's like, well, this is where they said they went. They went with somebody I don't know. I wasn't awake when they left. I helped them pack the night before. They're going to a casino. They packed booze and money and yada, yada, yada. But then they left before I was even up. Okay. So then he claims that he received a text from his mom on Sunday saying that they got there and that it's just busy and that they can't text. So that was a text that he got on the 4th, trying to, give proof of life, I guess, or to let other people think that he had heard from her, when really she's been dead for a couple days. Somewhere in there was so then Monday, Tuesday, again, no call, no show. People are starting to worry. The friends go up to the cabin to look. Nobody's been there. The brother goes by the cabin. Clearly nobody's been there. The police come by, check out the cabin. Nobody's been there. They don't find anything. And I guess then on the 7th is when he does the missing persons, which is the Wednesday, is when he does the missing persons. And then on the 8th, that Thursday, so a week later, he's arrested. So that's kind of the timeline from here. Yeah. Okay. So that's that. So we will be moving on into day 3, and so far so good. It's, they're moving right along. The defense isn't doing nothing. I don't really know if that's their strategy or if they just have conceded that there's nothing really that they can do. But also the state really hasn't put Chandler in anything just yet. Like, they've shown him looking for things and looking for video footage and stuff like that, but they haven't really, they haven't given any indication that he's actually committed the crime yet. Besides opening, I'm getting confused because in opening statements, they pointed it out and they said, this is what he did. And so I'm just like, okay, yeah, this is what he did, but that's not how it was. They haven't shown any evidence yet that that's how it went down. So, waiting on that. Okay. So I'm going to end this one, end of day 2, and we will move right along into day 3, and I hope to see you there. So, yeah, I will see you on the next one.